Hey everyone, how's it going? So we're back with some more Explorer and Pioneer content, and today we are checking in on the state of Boros Burn in the format. So played this a few months ago, but it's switched up a little since then, and obviously the format has shifted considerably with the release of sets like Foundations and Duskmorn and whatever that one is with the cars. And so we're going to be trying to see how this does in a kind of updated meta. It's a strategy which has never been at the kind of top tier of the format, but that idea of just kind of very quickly kind of trying to burn your opponents out the game is one that will remain popular, I'm sure. And we have some good cards to kind of make that happen. So in terms of our creature package, so we've got 4 copies of Monastery Swiftspear, which is our 1-drop, 1/2 with haste and prowess. We've played this many times before, just a great card. 4 copies of Eidolon of the Great Revel. So this is the 2/2 for 2 red, that whenever a player casts a spell with mana value 3 or less, this creature deals 2 damage to that player. Obviously that is symmetrical, but we are somewhat less concerned about our own life total than we are about our opponents. And even if they remove this straight away, then we've still got a little bit of damage out of it. And the other creature that we're running is 4 copies of Screaming Nemesis. So this is a more recent addition to the deck. A 3/3 with haste for 3. And whenever this creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any other target. If a player is dealt damage this way, they can't gain life for the rest of the game. So it's a hard one for the opponent to block. They kind of have to kill it with kind of unconditional destroy or exile removal, because as soon as they deal damage to it, then they're not gaining life for the rest of the game. So that's a very welcome addition to the deck. Also a 3/3 with haste can attack them pretty quickly, their life total down pretty quickly. Then in terms of our burn spells, so Bolt Wave, again another more recent addition, 3 damage to each opponent. Play with Fire, good versatile removal spell that if we target the opponent we can scry one and do a bit of card selection. Skullcrack stops the opponent gaining life this turn, preventing any damage, and does 3 damage to them. Searing Blood, 2 damage to any creature, and if that creature dies, which if you're casting this you're almost certainly wanting that to happen, deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. Boros Charm, again mostly using it for its first mode, 4 damage to target player or planeswalker. Lightning Helix, 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life, just a good way of stabilising potentially an aggro mirrors. And then 4 copies of Skewer the Critics as well, 3 damage to any target for 3, but if we have already dealt the opponent damage, which you would kind of hope that we have in a deck like this, then it does only cost 1. So our mana base is pretty self-explanatory. So we got 12 dual lands, all of which enter untapped in the early game. 4 copies of Ramanap Ruins, just a good way of doing an uncounterable 2 damage to the opponent. And it will often kind of get you over the hump you need to finish the game. 2 Den of the Bugbear, very, very good at responding to kind of mass removal and things like that. Still having a creature to attack the opponent with. 1 Mountain as our basic land, and a Soken Zan as well. Then in the sideboard, we've got 2 copies of Rending Volley and Torch the Tower, so some additional creature and planeswalker removal if we need it. Same with Get Lost, obviously having access to white gives us some more versatile removal, so this is good for creature, enchantment and planeswalker removal. Mage Bane Lizard, very good anti-control and anti those decks which are trying to cast lots of spells, so think Lotus Field, or is it Phoenix? Roiling Vortex, very good at shutting down combos as well as just being a repeatable source of 1 damage each turn and stopping the opponent gaining life. Scorching Shot, so this fulfills the role of Roast in the Pioneer deck, which we don't have yet on Explorer, and actually they've just spoiled one of the new Omen dragons from Tarkir, which is a strictly better version of Roast, so we won't actually need it, but 5 damage to any creature. I mean, this is kind of here as mostly anti-Shieldred, just because that card hoses mono red decks. Deflecting Palm, so a good way of just turning the opponent's damage back at them. And then Rampaging Frostodon, 2 copies of that. Another way of turning off the opponent's life gain. And if they're looking to cast a lot of creatures, then that incidental sort of 1 damage for each one that enters can potentially be very, very good. So yeah, that is the deck, Boros Burn. Should be interesting to see how this does, see how it does in a kind of updated meta, as I say. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go on to the ladder. Just a Ramanap Ruins doesn't feel like enough mana. Okay, that's better. And we can put back... let's put back Battlefield Forge, I think. Single Mountain, give us access to play with fire, depending on what the opponent plays. Ooh, ha ha ha. 4 damage. Well, let's turn this into 6 damage, shall we? And I'll keep a Swift Spear on top. Yep, Blood Crypt into Thoughtseize is a painful opening for an opponent who is playing against Mono Red Burn. Okay, well that makes sense. Ooh, another Thoughtseize. Okay, so Searing Blood I think will eventually be quite helpful, but in the meantime, let's just Lightning Helix. Get them down to 6, so we're presenting almost lethal here. We still need the ability to do 1 more damage. Skullcrack at instant speed is good. Fable of the Mirror Breaker short. So yeah, we have lethal now, because we can Skullcrack them at the end of turn. And then Searing Blood this and do them the final amount of damage. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward. So, Rakdos Demons. So, this is the kind of deck where we are going to want to avoid them having the ability to gain more life, just because that's what the Annex is quite good at. So we'll put in Get Lost as enchantment removal. Do we want Roiling Vortex as well? Potentially. Or Rampaging Frostodon. It's probably a bit too easily killed though. Yeah, let's put in Vortex. So we got 4 cuts to make. Eidolon is quite easily killed here. Do I want to take that? Do I want to take Eidolon out on the draw? I think so. And let's just go maximum spell damage. Potentially put it back in on the play. This is a lot of lands. It's a decent hand if we don't draw any more. I think we kind of got to make them have their removal here, which looks like they do. That's fine, that land's going to do them some damage over the game. Blood Tithe Harvester is a good target for Searing Blood. So we've got 3, 7, 11, 15 damage in our hand, which is pretty good. And Annex is going to make that easier if they don't have a demon, which they don't at the moment. So that takes them down to 13. So I could Boros Charm here and then skewer the critics, which I think is fine, so we'll do that. And then they're down to 4 if they don't have a demon. Okay, they do, because they've got Mutavault. And another Harvester. So this will put them to 7. Yep, that is lethal. So I can Searing Blood this. Ooh, they might Fatal Push it in response, actually. That is a good point. So that fizzles the Searing Blood. Ah, good move. Good move by the opponent. Yeah, well, that makes things a little more complex. Yeah, perhaps I should have done that at instant speed instead. Waited to see what they played. Right, well, Boros charm them in response. Yeah, them having their Fatal Push there made a big difference. Interesting. I could have waited for them to tap out, but whether they would have done or not, it's an interesting question. So this will get them to 5. So yeah, this life gain has kept them alive so far. Lightning Helix is a good answer to Mutavault when they activate it, so I'll keep that in hand. Okay, Shieldred. Yeah, so we're going to need our... So let's respond to that with a Helix. So this will be life neutral. Skewer the critics, gets them to 2. So we'll fire that off. And then again, if they don't have a demon of any kind, this is still life neutral. And they're on 4. So Boros Charm. Yeah, okay. They've kind of managed to... Yeah, that Fatal Push was the clutch move for them there. So I want Scorching Shot in. I'll put in a couple of Eidolons as well. Skullcrack seems good. Vortex seems good. Searing Blood was less good there, so let's take that out. And just focus on Burn to the face. Yep, this'll do. Start by firing off a Bolt Wave. Sego. So I don't want to play Nemesis while they have removal available to them. So I will simply wait. Blood Tithe Harvester, sure thing. So let's get Nemesis down. Ah, they've got Torch to the tower. Okay, well this does 3 damage at least. So they won't be able to gain life for the rest of the game. Then we can skewer the critics. And now we're kind of just waiting to draw. So they're on functionally 3 with Ramanap Ruins. Yeah, Swift Spear is a pretty bad draw in this at this point in the game. So we are going to have to move quickly here. Okay, well, Battlefield Forge gives us the Ramanat Ruins activation. Okay, sure thing. So we got one draw step. That'll do it. Close game. But we did get there. This is a 7 we like. So a creature, an earlier creature would be good, but I think this has got enough going on. We don't need to worry too much. Chetnir's Garden, okay. Yeah, I'll keep a Boros Charm. So I could play with fire and skewer the critics here, which I think is a reasonable thing to do. Yep, keep a third land. This gets them down to 13 and sets up Screaming Nemesis next turn. Yeah, so they probably don't have a huge amount going on. So if this connects one more time, they are dead. With the cards in our hand, I should say. Not by itself. No, okay, they got an Abrupt Decay, fair enough. So I'll play Eidolon. It's probably a decent... I mean, this deck almost certainly runs Leyline Binding, so that might not prove to be a particularly effective tool. No, Fable will definitely do some damage. So that one, 8. So that's Searing Blood away there. So now they're on 3, and they're dead to either of the cards in my hand. Searing Blood was a good draw. Let us get through 5 damage that turn. Bring to Light. What are they going to get with that, I wonder? Niv Mizzet Supreme, that's fine. I shall simply Lightning Helix them. So the opponent's playing Niv To Light. What do I want to... definitely want Roiling Vortex against Niv To Light. I do kind of want Deflecting Palm as well, as it's a pretty good... if they're going to hit me with a big creature. I like that. Not so convinced about Eidolon, given the number of expensive spells they play. Is Searing Blood? I think I'll trim 2 Searing Bloods and replace it with Magebane Lizard, perhaps? Yes. Yeah, and we'll put in Get Lost and trim the other Searing Bloods as well, actually. It was good there, but I'm not sure they run enough cheap toughness 2 or less creatures to justify it. I mean, if we do draw a second land, this hand is pretty good. And we do have Play with Fire. I think this is a keep on the draw. It's a risky one. Okay, never punished. beans. So I think I'm fine to just get Vortex down here because it hoses Bring to Light in a big way. Like, well, it doesn't completely hose it, but it does mean they take 5 damage if they cast something with a Bring to Light. Fable, sure thing. So let's fire off a Swift Spear, play with fire their token. Not getting the scry out of play with fire is a shame because I would quite like a 3rd land, but we can't afford to be too fussy. Just to kind of hold up the Vortex activation for one thing. Because, you know, they could have Night of Autumns and the like. Yep, Deafening Clarion's a good one. Still no land. Okay, well, pass the turn. I mean, I've got more than enough burn in my hand to kill them. It is just a case of having a little bit of patience. And if they try to gain life, I can skull crack them. Alright, let's fire off a Boros Charm. Go down to 6. Okay. Leyline Binding, sure thing. Again, it's not life gain, so I'm not that fussed. I'm just really waiting for them to try and gain some life. Okay, another Beanstalk. Okay, I'll take 2. Fire off another Boros Charm. Two life. Okay, well this should be fine then, because I shall Bolt Wave. Yeah. Marvellous. Oh, I think we did. Rematches on the play, can't say fairer than that. Can say fairer than this hand, though. This one's pretty bad too. Okay, this one is keepable. I do not like it, but I will tolerate it. So I'll put back 1 Searing Blood and probably skewer the critics here. The opponent did say hello, so I'm nothing if not polite. Mulliganing to 5 in a red deck does not feel like the best. And neither does them playing a 3 toughness creature. How dare they? Blech. Well, this might be a very short game of 2 players just playing past each other, but let's see if they have Greasefang. They do not. Okay, well that's something. So this gets them to 10, and then I'm kind of a bit like, what do I do next? Well, I play a Bolt Wave is what I do. It's 7. Then at least if I do have a target for Searing Blood, that gets them to a functional 4, and then they're just a Boros Charm away from dead. Yep, that is a target for Searing Blood. Okay, so this is the Demons kind of thing, other Demons deck of... Yep, alright, I get it, I get it, I get it. This cost me 2 life. Boros Charm one time? That's not it. Okay, well... It's not looking good, lads. Yes, I can get them to 1. And that is it. Yeah, that mulligan to 5 absolutely killed us there. Not a surprise. Pardon me. Still recovering from this cold. So, I want Deflecting Palm here. And I want Rending Volley. Do I need other... I think that's probably fine. Eidolon is good in this matchup, I think. Searing Blood was again a bit weak there, just lack of targets in the early game. We don't run any Graveyard Hate, because we're kind of just hoping to ignore what the opponent's doing and just kill them quickly enough that it doesn't matter. So we will need answer to their Greasefangs. This is not a good hand. Neither's this, but I am going to... Bleh. Bleg. Okay, I will put back Play with Fire. Okay, at least the opponent's on a heavy mulligan. Hello again, yes. Alright, well, second land at least gives us something, so... Eidolon. Yes, FOMO yourself. Bolt Wave, rather. Bolt Wave 2. Swift Spear. Yay to no Greasefang. Happiness personified. So, Boros Charm, 4 damage to them. Now they're down to 2. Did I play that really badly? I think I might have done. Okay, it's not Greasefang, we weren't punished. It's like, how have I somehow managed to end up in a situation where I could die here? Okay. Maybe Searing Blood's better than I thought. It's probably better on the draw. So I'll put in a couple of copies of that. Take out Deflecting Palm, it's too reactive. I'm kind of just hoping for a 7 that I can keep now. Don't like having to mulligan. Not the quickest, but good enough. Hello, yes. It's me again. We've done this before. Yeah, Duress can get rid of one of my burn spells. Crucially can't get rid of Eidolon. And they have taken 2 damage to do that, which we like. We'll get Eidolon down. Okay. 16. Well, I don't love... I mean, they don't have any land either, but don't love it. I'll respond with a play with fire. Yep, keep land on top. So this will get them to 12. Then I can Screaming Nemesis, hit them down to 9. 2 skull cracks. Excellent. Okay, well, everything's coming up Millhouse at the moment. Ooh, someone in Mythic. Yeah, like, if my purpose here was, like, grinding to Mythic, then this is exactly the kind of deck that you would play to get there, because the matches are quick, and you can just play lots and lots of them, which is kind of the best way to farm. Obviously, that's not how I play. You know, I don't play much Arena outside of when I'm recording, so I don't really have the time. But yeah, if I was only interested in getting to Mythic, that is what I would be doing. So I could Skullcrack here, which is a more efficient use of mana, even though it is obviously a card that you kind of want to use in response to the opponent doing something, but I think we are okay to just... A Veteran Explorer. I wonder how you get that. I want to be called a Veteran Explorer. Da-da-dum. Right, well, let's shock in, play another Bolt Wave. I feel like Searing Blood isn't going to be much good to us here, but I could, depending on what they play, I could potentially double up on a Searing Blood. Because as long as it dies this turn, then it still triggers. Which is a neat little thing that Searing Blood has, but instead we shall generate some Soak and Zan tokens. Omen of the Sea. Don't know why I said it like that, but, you know. Double top. Don't love that. I think I will do this at sorcery speed, because this could be some sort of counterspell deck. Yeah, land I don't actually hate here, because it is a way of turning on Ramunap Ruins. Play a creature. Play a creature. Or, you know, don't either way. See if I care. Overlord, unfortunately, is not only not a creature, it's also too big. Don't go to good game me. Where do you think you are? Lol. I'll play that out. Just play something I can kill with a Searing Blood. Is that too much to ask? Thank you. Sheesh. I'll do it again. So, Overlords. Nobody likes Overlords. Get lost. I mean, it is quite slow, is the only thing. Yeah, I probably want Scorching Shot. I don't want Searing Blood. I feel like I'm trimming that a lot. It's mainly just the decks that we're coming up against, I think. Magebane Lizard. No. Maybe I put in Deflecting Palm if I was on the play. Because something like an Overlord hit, turning that 6 damage back on them. But again, it kind of feels like if you're doing that and not doing anything else, it's not great. Well, I don't have any creatures, but that's okay. Creatures are optional in this particular build. A nice to have rather than an essential. So yeah, I think playing Eidolon here is a good shout. Even if they have immediate removal for it. Okay, well they didn't have a counter spell a second ago, so I'm going to assume they still don't. No, that's 12 life they're now on, and we have 6 burn in hand. Don't really want to tap out, I don't think. As soon as they tap out, I win. With the amount of stuff I have in my hand. Well, that's annoying. So we gain 4 life. So let's get rid of that. Follow it up with a Boros Charm. So now they're on 8. Again, I will pass the turn. Sure thing, that gets them down to 6. Maps are not in themselves a problem. Ride's End isn't a problem either. So, Lightning Helix. Okay. Lightning Helix number 2. Goodbye. Okay, a tasty 4-0 with Boros Burn. Now, I'm not naive. I am fully aware that we were on the play in every single one of those matches, which probably helped. But yeah, as I say, if I was looking for a deck to simply grind to Mythic, that is probably the one I would pick. So we have some packs to open. Lifecraft Engine. And a Mythic pack, just for added spice. Thunderous Velocipede. Feels like that should be good in something at some point. So yeah, no, a very effective showing for the burn deck. As I say, being on the play obviously helps. So yeah, some Screaming Nemesis was great. I think probably deserving of a main deck slot. I think we've had it in the sideboard when previously using this. Boros Charm, Lightning Helix. I mean, all of these burn spells, Bolt Wave is a great addition to the format. Eidolon did some good work there. Searing Blood, I think, was the most mixed. The ceiling is very high on this card, obviously, being able to remove an opponent's blocker, as well as doing them 3 damage and then hitting them for more. I mean, it's just a great ceiling. The floor is obviously very low, which is why it was often the most sideboarded card. Skullcrack, didn't really get to see much of its kind of life gain prevention, but again, potentially good in some of the matches. Ramanap Ruins. Yeah, no, this is a kind of pretty tuned iteration of the deck. It's never been the most popular, and as I say, it probably would perform a bit worse if we had been on the draw more often. But yeah, no, good showing for it. So yeah, here's the deck list one more time. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know lots of people don't like burn, but it is a legitimate strategy in the game, and therefore must be respected like any other. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Always appreciate the support, and I'll see you next time.